The National Health Insurance Scheme says it is ready to pay service providers by this week. Now, the providers want to revert to the cash and carry system due to irregular payment schedules by the scheme.
If we stop them from providing services and want to review their claims, it is legitimate. But at the end of the day, I say also there's been a bit of delay on our part. This week there's going to be an improvement, and the improvements will continue into the next couple of months.
National Executive of the Health Insurance Providers Association of Ghana has raised the red flags to revert to the cash and carry system. This follows threats by members of HISPAC in the Upper East region to revert to the cash and carry system. Payments of outstanding arrears owed members of HISPAC are yet to be settled by the National Health Insurance Authority. Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Insurance Authority, Nathaniel Otu, blamed the service providers and the NHIA for the lapses and however called for cooperation for better service delivery.
HISPAC came out to make a statement. Today, we have issued a joint statement with them, and the joint statement is to the effect that we are cooperating to find ways in which providers will continue providing services. The issues that have led to the delay in payments are on both sides. Some of it is on the HISPAC side, some of it is also on our side.
So we're still on the issue of the NHIA because the service providers are asking their monies. My guest in the studio is the Executive Director of the Health Insurance Service Providers Association, HISPAC, Frank Toblu. Frank, welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
So you're pulling the scheme and asking them for your money?
Yes, that has been the situation over the period. But what we're looking for as providers nationwide is that whatever amount that is owed the providers be paid so that we can continually procure medicines, reagents and other medical consumables to enable us supply services to the people of this country.
Your payment is done in arrears?
Yes, it is.
How many months?
So far, tactically we have 6 months in arrears, but you know, in principle, it's supposed to be 9 months, but we call it 6 months because they have some period of time within which they are also supposed to process the claims.
Your claim.
That has been agreed in principle. Yeah.
So for 6 months, you have not received your claims?
I must say that even we have pockets of some providers who haven't gotten their money for the month of April last year, 2015. Some pockets of providers.
It's not normal.
Well, it's
not technical issues.
It could be, in some of these cases, it could be that some have some technical challenges with the authority and some may be an oversight on the part of the National Health Insurance Authority. So these complaints have gotten to HISPAC tables, and we've pushed some of them to the authority to look at. If it happens that it's a technical issue, or in other words, an oversight coming from the Health Insurance Authority, I am pretty sure they would have to address that as quickly as possible.
The scheme sometimes has complained that some of the delays are from your members in terms of processing documents and all that. Is that the case? Yes, in some cases we also have some challenges in processing our claims. You see, even as I speak to you, there are some of our members who have not even submitted their claims. But then when we are speaking, we speak holistically. So in as much as we are saying that they have not paid for the claims, again, pockets of some providers have also not put in their claims. Even if they have, some anomalies has been recorded, and so there's a back and forth, something like that.
Yeah, you see, when we're talking about anomaly with regards to the claims, normally what is supposed to be done is that when the claims are submitted, the National Health Insurance Authority would quickly have to vet these claims and then inform the service provider that, look, I have vetted your claims and this is what is due you, and that will have to be paid to you pending the availability of cash, so that such an amount to be paid, so that at that level the service provider can even use that
as a collateral to procure a loan facility to
as long as he has that document.
Oh yes, once you have that document, a vetting report emanating from the National Health Insurance Office indicating that we have vetted your claims and you are supposed to be paid such an amount of money, it's a more or less a guarantee to the service provider, and the service provider can then go ahead and use this as a document to procure loan facility to continue to buy drugs and other medical consumables. So that is the situation on the ground. So it's a very solid document that can be made available. But then the question is, if this document is not made available, of course, the service provider is left in a limbo.
So that's where the problem is. Even though the vetting has been done, and yet the document that gives you the clearance isn't in.
Yes, you cannot do anything. So, I mean, because the banks would also be scared, because now we have come to notice that most often than not, when the health insurance come up and say that, look, we are not going to pay you for this amount, meanwhile the bank has advanced some amount of money to you. So if they have given you such document, it's a guarantee. So when you make it available to the bank, it holds the provider, you know, to rate, and holds the health insurance scheme also to rate, to the extent that when they are granting the loan facility, of course they may do some level of discount by giving you maybe 70% of the amount, the face value of the vetted claims, so that you can also continue providing service. So, like I said, it's a fine document that can be used.
Before we talk about if service providers are thinking about going cash and carry, the plea perhaps of service providers is that even if the money is not there, you'll be interested to have this clearance that will give your banks the confidence to continue dealing with you, I guess.
Yeah, sure, that is it. You see, this whole exercise that the hospitals, clinics, and the maternity homes going cash and carry, you see, it came as a result of unavailability of funds to procure medicines, reagents, in other words, medical consumables. You understand? There are instances when the people come to the hospital, the drugs that you are supposed to use to treat them are not readily available. Now, when you because hospitals, clinics do not manufacture medicines. Right. They also buy these things from pharmaceutical companies. As we speak to you now, the pharmaceutical companies are saying that, look, we are not going to give you these things on credit any longer until you make cash available to us. You understand? That is the situation we find ourselves in. So what do we do as service provider? Now, medical ethics practice suggests that at any point in time, it is important for you as a health facility to have some medicines available, so that should there be any situation, you will use that to resuscitate the person whilst you look for some other alternatives to deal with the situation. So if funds are not readily available for you to procure these things, then how are you going to keep your hospital running? So that is what is informing the decision to go cash and carry, to enable us get some funds to, continue providing service to the generality of people in this country. That has actually informed that decision. I must confess that.
And that decision will be implemented, the cash and carry?
In fact, fortunately, what the situation is now is that we had a very fine discussion, in other words, meeting with the National Health Insurance Authority. And now at that level, we come to a point where they have agreed that they're going to pay the amount involved. They're going to pay a very good part of money. And we are suggesting that at least 2 months basic down, so that the difference be paid at a certain regular intervals. But we've been made to understand that they do not control the pairs, and for that matter, it will be quite difficult. We do see eye to eye with the situation at hand anyway, but then our position is that they should do as much as possible to give us a greater part of the outstanding balances, so that we will revert the situation. Now, the difficulty we are having now is that, it took us time to put our people in this position, the readiness to withdraw the service. Now, we had a meeting with the National Health Insurance Scheme on Friday, 4 o'clock in the evening, and we have to communicate the decision we've taken to the members. So Some have gotten it, some haven't gotten it. So some providers, especially in other regions, are saying that, look, even if they would have to go back at all, we have to give them some time, at least on Wednesday, so that
go back to the cash and carry.
No, the cash and carry
to come back to the scheme.
To come back to the scheme.
So already some of them have gone back to the cash and carry.
Some of them have gone. Some of them have gone. I must confess this.
Are you able to tell us which regions have gone?
Part of Kumasi had gone, part of Boku had gone, part of Western had gone, and Central hadn't gone, Greater Accra hadn't gone. But you see, the whole thing is, if HISPAC as an organization is one of the best decentralized organization, to the extent that decisions are taken at the local level, and then the top is informed to implement the decision at the lower level. So when we are coming up with this information that, look, this is the stand of HISPAC, know that it is coming from the provider level.
Right.
That is how HISPAC operates. So once we have gotten the information, it means that we also have to, send this information down to them, so that they will give us a clearance to say, yes, we are back to the scheme. That is the situation on the ground.
And it will take some time for everyone to get back to the scheme.
We are believing that by Wednesday, everything should come to normal.
Every service provider should be back to the scheme.
Every service provider should back to the scheme.
You are a service provider, and of course, it means that your dealings with the scheme is quite deep. How do we ensure that what we're talking about doesn't happen? Is it possible that it won't happen?
I don't get a question clear.
The delays in payment, service providers withdrawing from the scheme and then going cash and carry, and then they're coming back and all that. Is it possible that at a point in time, because you've had dealings with the scheme, we can say that these challenges, we have overcome them, the scheme is going to run smoothly, and we won't see anything like what we're talking about here tonight?
Yeah, sure. You see, I am personally very, very confident that this whole...
Just confident?
Very confident. Sure. But this, yes, I am. This whole issue of we are not going to render service anymore, we are not going to do this anymore, the health insurance not paying, will definitely be over. Now, it will be over when some suggestions that we have made is seriously...
Let's share some of the suggestions.
Is seriously considered.
Let's share some of them.
Now, you see, you and I will appreciate the fact that in the insurance system, be it health insurance, be it general insurance. Now, claims processing is the pivot around which health insurance, in other words, insurance businesses revolved. Because if you are able to manage your claims properly, I can tell you for sure you'll be in a very big business. You understand? Now, but what is happening is, if you have people who are managing your claims, and some of these people, excuse me to say, do not have clinical background. Now you end up making, getting people paying amount that under normal circumstances they should not have paid to some service providers. For example...
So wait, people are cheating the system?
No, you see, these are facts, hard facts that you cannot underestimate. These are hard facts you cannot underestimate.
The system is being cheated?
To a very large extent. You see, now...
Providers are putting in claims that they have not actually rendered.
Not all the providers. Of course, in every society,
some providers.
In every society, you have some unscrupulous people, and HISPAC as an organization is seriously on this, to the extent that, you see, one of our basic objective is to, 1, sustain the health insurance, 2, maintain the facilities, 3, provide quality health care to the people of this country. This is what HISPAC is built on. You understand? Now, so we are saying that, 1, the National Health Insurance Authority should be able to manage the claims properly. We do not expect that you pay claims to the providers and then go back for it. No. Before you make payment to the provider, make sure that whatever amount of money that you are paying it and you are not going back for it. I can tell you for sure that some time ago, health insurance paid some amount of money to the providers, and then they go back to them and say, look, you have that and you have that. We have conducted a clinical audit and you have to make a refund of this amount of money back to the National Health Insurance Authority. Now, before these things are done, somebody who might have provided genuine service wouldn't have gotten money.
Right.
Because money had gone to some other person who shouldn't have gotten it.
That is not the only problem with the scheme.
It's one of the problems.
One of the problems.
Another difficulty that we also looking at is the National Health Insurance Authority is not well resourced in terms of funding. Now, when we look at it, today as we are speaking, we have 26 million Ghanaians.
On the scheme?
No, that is what we have.
The total population.
The total population is 26 million. Okay, all these people are contributing their quota to support the National Health Insurance, be it National Health Insurance levy, be it VAT or whatever. You understand? These monies are already coming, but the number of people on the scheme is just about 10 million or 10 point something or 11. Let's put it around that level. So you could see that going forward, there is going to be a problem because this is the only major source from which money is being gotten to support the scheme, and already the 26 million is supporting it, and it is not even sufficing the system to stay. So that is a major challenge. Now we are suggesting as an organization that the National Health Insurance Authority together with the government should come up with a policy where we're going to have at least 1.5% of the petroleum levy given to the National Health Insurance Authority. On that, I can tell you for sure that the National Health Insurance Scheme will be well resourced and all these issues will be scripted.
Some have said that even if you put in what you're talking about, and like you said, the loopholes are not plugged, we'll run back and come to the situation which we're talking now.
Beautiful. If you listen to me carefully, I first of all talk about the claims. That is the pivot. Like I said, it's a pivot around which every insurance claims is the pivot around which every insurance, be it health insurance. Okay, so if the claims department is giving, I mean, is well fortified.
So it should be strengthened first.
Very
to cut off all the claims that are not due, and then
let me use the word illegitimate claims. And if all these things are plugged properly, I can tell you for sure that we're going to have a very credible health insurance scheme. We're going to have a very sustainable health insurance scheme. We're going to have a health insurance scheme that people worldwide will be looking at.
Frank, grateful.
I'm so grateful
for your time tonight.
I'm also grateful.
Frank is the executive director of the Health Insurance Providers Association. He's talking to me, and of course it's a development story, so we'll get you more on that as and when the scheme get to pay the providers, and then all of them have returned to the scheme. We'll tell you more about that. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk to you more about perhaps the dangers as far as the issue of palm oil is concerned, and why the FDA is talking against some research that has been done. Stay there on News at 10 if you can. When we come back, we'll delve deep into the palm oil issue.